pre-show before the free show.
Oh, look.
It's weird to be back.
It's
man.
the other resident of this year.
Of the batch pad.
The Bachelorette pad.
Yeah, it's weird. This is my first time producing a show from the batch pad.
How do you feel?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to screw up TFT, you know. I feel like that since I'm QB2, I have a lot to prove.
Mal,
so
allow me to tell you, if there's one person who's going to screw up TFT,
it's going to be you.
You're looking at him. Okay?
It's not going to be me.
Trust me, it ain't going to be you. Pickle was supposed to do the show today, but she resigned in disgrace. So
she actually. It's really funny. She broke our lease today. Didn't even tell me. Like she's moving out. She's
weird.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she
was like, "Hey, you're doing TFT."
But she left her stuff.
It's crazy.
Did she mention anything about like potential crimes that she's committed? Just like, I know you guys gossip.
She did not.
Okay.
No.
So you have plausible deniability.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
correct.
She didn't say anything about a crime to you, right?
I don't think so.
Wink. Okay. We can talk off air. That's fine. Is it strange to have me in your home?
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I texted you this morning and I was like, because it's really tough to get back here in this spot because we have such a small area. Mm-hmm. And so I texted you and I said, hey, front door's unlocked. Just come on in when you get here. And you were like, hello, is anybody here?
I did.
I
I opened the door. I did the thing where I opened the door and then I knocked on the door.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, because I don't know. It is your home, right?
Correct.
And I'll just be blunt. In your home, you are free to wear whatever you want whenever you want.
Yes.
Also, we are coworkers and not like, I mean, we're friends.
Yeah.
Too, but you know what I mean? We have a professional relationship
Correct.
that we need to maintain. I don't want to roll in and you're like, I'm in a bathrobe and I've got like a face mask on and stuff like that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, speaking of what I'm wearing today, I pulled out the Southside shirt for Forney, Coach Fleener.
Yeah.
So I wanted
Shout
to
out Coach Fleen.
Shout out Coach Fleen for that. Rocks.
But like that, I will say one of the nice things about being remote. By the way, if you're just joining us, our office is under construction at the moment, and so we have to vacate the premises. But we will be for the next couple of weeks. By the way, too.
Right.
But one of the nice things that I realized when I came over here for the show last week, like I wore basically like work stuff, and then I wore work stuff yesterday too, and then this morning I was like, why?
No, I'm in this t-shirt and then I'm wearing my slippers that I got yesterday at Hobby Lobby that you love, that you need to send to Jen. I need you to send a picture to Jen so I can get her opinion.
They're cute. They're cute. But but honestly, one of the other thing is like, I want you like folks who watch this show to imagine like, I want you to imagine us being casual. Considering what we normally wear. Now of all the people on the editorial team, you are probably the person that we can count on the most to like dress up for work.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like you often look nice.
Thank you.
You wore a gown once.
Correct.
Although I think that was to pay.
That was not under my. That was not my choice, though. I did not want to do that.
But you will roll in like looking like a professional.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part.
That is not the same for like the other. Just say
no.
I'll just speak for myself.
You.
Where like I'm wearing a Victorville Film Archive shirt and basketball shorts at the moment. But normally what I'll wear on the show is a Victorville Film Archive shirt and jeans.
Correct.
So that's the real difference here.
Yeah.
Is I'm
You're right.
pretty casual.
I do want to bring something up before
okay.
Before we get on with the show. How excited are you that you and I get to be standing next to each other in Pickle's wedding in January?
It is going to be like a real, like we should film it as a TFT exclusive.
Do you think? I was thinking the same thing, you know?
All of the content creators are going to be there.
Correct. You're going to be officiating
the
wedding. For those of you that don't know, Tepper is going to be officiating Ashley Pickle's wedding. I'm going to be the maid of honor. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to be essentially right next to each other.
Yeah.
So my job...
We're going to be surrounding Pickle.
Correct. my job
Like, think
is
about-
to make sure that when when they say I do, that I yank you away
Yes.
from the altar or whatever.
From between them.
From the between them, so they can get good pictures.
Yeah.
So that's my sole job in that moment,
Yeah,
is to
is
make
to, like,
sure
tackle
you
me.
are not in those
Yeah.
pictures.
Like, you basically have three roles.
Which I can do.
You basically have three roles during the wedding, as I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
One is to, like, hold her bouquet.
Yes, correct.
Two is to, like, get the train right and, like, make sure it's like I've been
Yeah.
to weddings. I
Right.
know how this works.
Correct. You're right.
And then three is to tackle me.
Yes. And specifically, she put that on my to-do list as a maid of honor.
What I need you to do
it's
is
funny.
like throw a forearm, like legit, like just like go up there and.
Those
forearm
might make for
shiver.
good pictures.
I'm just saying that, like, this
I
is
think
a
that would
time
be-
for making memories.
Yes.
You want to talk about
Yes.
memories.
Yeah,
Think about the
correct.
decision-making processes that she went through to be on her special day surrounded by us.
I think she's happy that I'm included in that. I don't know about you.
I think she's gonna rethink this. She's gonna be like,
She said
yeah.
incorrect in
Yeah,
those
I'm
comments.
just like, I'm putting, like I have it in my planner, right? But I have it in pencil. Okay, 'Cause I'm fully expecting we have to get through a football season together again.
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll see whether or not I get the call whenever it's game time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I can go through practice with the ones.
Yeah.
But then they might be like, all right, listen, we're
we gotta
gonna
pull
go
you.
with Arch.
We're gonna go. You're QB2 right now. You're QB1 right now.
I'm
But
QB1
sometimes
right now.
you just gotta go with QB2.
Depth chart is subject to change.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, we're gonna be up there partying.
I'm excited.
We'll see if I'm sober. Hit the theme, Expo.
Pickle!
Hit the air sign. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Bachelorette Pad in an undisclosed location, it is Texas Football Today, a show that's, I gotta be honest, this place smells pretty nice.
Thank you.
Probably smells nicer than the studio.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
My name's Greg Tupper. You didn't have to say it like that. My name's Greg Tupper.
Doesn't smell great.
I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, on Facebook, apparently,
Yeah, we're on
Right.
Facebook. Yep.
YouTube, Twitter, etc., or you'll listen to us on a podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is my Mal Pal. She's your Mal Pal. She's our Trey Lance.
Correct.
She's QB2. She's Mallory Hartley.
The Dallas Cowboys' very own Trey Lance.
Yes, Trey Lance. Who
might get traded to.
So by the way,
the
that was
Vikings.
something I thought about. Here's a football talk. Here's a football comment. A Texas football comment.
Okay.
They traded for Trey Lance, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was never listed as the backup quarterback. Cooper Rush was always
Right.
listed as the backup quarterback. So here's my question. Why do they have Trey Lance?
I don't know. I mean, I saw something earlier today that he might get traded to the Vikings if if Kirk Cousins doesn't.
maybe it's
Michigan
just,
State's very own Kirk Cousins
shout out
doesn't.
Kirk Cousins.
Enters free agency. I don't know.
Anyway, today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. It is 268 days till Thanksgiving. Continuing Big Ten week. Happy birthday to Justin Fields. Speaking of quarterbacks who might get traded.
Correct.
It is episode 1739. Thank you. On today's show, folks, it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Thank you. We're going to be breaking down the most improved Texas high school football defenses. Going to close out our 2023 stat-like comparison for these teams. And then at the very end of that, I have an interesting note because we have this idea that defense is what wins.
We sure do. It was Coach Terry Crawford, jersey number 69,
Nice.
Daniel Agnew, and TJ Hudson. Welcome in
I got a phone call from Coach Terry Crawford yesterday.
Did you?
Yes, I did, because they were trying to fill out their questionnaire,
Ah,
and they did.
I was going to say.
They did.
Shout out.
But he's not going to be the coach, right? He's not going to be the coach. He retired. He retired at the end, or he's retired. I don't know if he's retired at the end of football season or if he's retired at the end of the year.
Right. Yes.
But I think he's retired at the end of the year, the school year.
Good for him. Yeah, that's awesome.
He's retiring, going into ministry, but he is. But they did turn in their questionnaire with the new head coach, so I appreciate them. Thanks, guys. All right, Mallory. I don't know if you're familiar with our show.
I don't know what I'm doing. I really have no idea what I'm doing.
But normally in the off season, on Tuesdays, we celebrate a segment we like to call Math Tuesday.
Oh. You know we're gonna replace it. Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday, allegedly, here on Texas Football Today, where we dive inside the numbers, talk a little bit about the numbers of surrounding football in the state of Texas. And we're continuing kind of rounding out our series on different kind of comparisons and which were the most improved teams in 2023. And last week, we talked about the most improved offenses in Texas high school football. And I want to flip that. I want to flip that on its head and talk about the most improved defenses. Because that's ultimately, I think, if you were to ask a coach, if you were to say, hey, which would you rather improve? Would you rather improve your offense or your defense? They'd probably say their defense, right? I think most coaches would say, yeah, we want to. If you could pick one to like cut your points per game, points allowed per game average in half, or to double it, right? Which one would you do? I think most coaches would choose their defense because that's going to keep you in a variety of different games. And so what I did was I basically just took the numbers and I took teams, every team from across the state, the UIL teams, and came up with their points per game or points allowed per game average from 2023 and compared it to their points allowed per game average in 2022. And once again, because it's the statistics are kind of different, we kind of separated 11-man and 6-man. And so what I want to start with is the 11-man classification. I want to talk the most improved defenses in 11-man football in 2023. And when you take a look at this, we talked about this with Pickle and I talked about this when we talked about the offenses. There are teams that are not going to show up on this list. Like Alito's never going to make this list because in order to be on this list, you kind of have to concede that, the defense was not very good. You know what I mean? And so you take a look at, for example, just take a look at the numbers over on the right side, the 2022 points allowed per game. The lowest number there is 35 points a game. Right, 35 points a game. But these teams, King High School down there in Kingsville, cut 25.3 points per game off their defensive average. Right? That's insane.
I mean,
that's insane.
Looking at the raw numbers like that.
That's almost 4 fewer touchdowns per game. In Class 4A, they went from the 176th best defense to the 31st best defense. I mean, a huge, huge leap there. What's interesting is that you see teams that just plain and simple were bad at defense in 2022. Maypearl, very bad, 47.5. They get down 23, which is great. I mean, that's right in the middle of 3A. That you can live with that. For Benbrook, that's a typo, 49.1 points per game, down to 26. I want to skip over that one. Ponder goes from 55.3 points per game to 34.3. Not great, but moving in the right direction.
Right.
Abilene TLC is that same way. They were really, really struggling in 2022. Lopped nearly 20 points per game off their average. Houston Scarborough, Tom Bean, I think, makes a big leap there up into what was really impressive. They made a really big leap as far as points allowed per game. They were excellent. Teams like that, They made, Tom Bean jumped into to 33rd. And then you take a look at a team like Houston Wisdom. Houston Wisdom in 5A, they were the 192nd ranked defense in 2022. They're the 20th ranked defense in 2023. I mean, that's a really big leap for Wisdom. Round Rock Westwood kind of made a similar leap there in 6A, going from 197th to 29th. Really good. The team I want to focus on here is the team that comes in fourth there. It's Heiko. Heiko was a team that gave up 35 points per game in 2022, which is not great, but is not.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
No,
it's not terrible. 35 points a game is like not awesome, but like it's not terrible.
Right.
They were a top 20 defense in 2A last year. They were 16th in
allowing
2A.
13 points, 14 theoretically.
Yeah, exactly.
Theoretically, if you round up. Points
Awfully
game.
impressive. These teams that were able to shave like 3+ touchdowns off of their points allowed per game metric. It's really, really impressive. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take a look at the 6-man. Okay, so in the 6-man ranks, you take a look at the teams that made the biggest leaps on the 6-man. And again, not necessarily brand names, a few of them, but made big improvements. Marfa, from 53 points a game to 24.9 points per game. I mean, really impressive. We'll get to a couple of these other ones, but Justine Harold Strawn made a big leap. Really grew as the season went on. Iredell had a fantastic year. They made a big leap as well. I want to talk about them here in a moment as well. Whiteface made a huge leap. Van Horn, Sydney. These teams are shaving 20+ points per game off their points per game average. The two I want to focus on here are number 4 and then I believe number 8.
Correct.
Miami and Whiteface. Okay? Those teams in 2022, Miami was the 59th best defense in 6-man football. And Whiteface was 32nd. 29.4 points per game in 6-man football will win you a lot of games. That's really good. Mm-hmm. They ranked first and second. Whiteface was the number 1 defense in 6-man football last year, and Miami was number 2. So you want to talk about a huge leap from like good, like I mean they were we talked about it. Whiteface was the 32nd best defense in 6-man football out of like 150 teams. Like they're in the top quarter of them in 2022. To go from that to elite, I think that leap is perhaps the most impressive on this list. Yes, for Marfa to shave 28 points a game off their points per game average is awfully impressive. They are the 20th best defense. But I think going from great to elite is even more impressive.
Well, and when you think about 6-man football, too, we think offense, right? We think explosive offense. You don't really think about defense. So seeing two teams in the 6-man ranks that allow less than 15 points a game, I mean, that's super impressive. That's an impressive defense.
Yeah.
And they're all the same guys that play offense, basically,
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You're talking about those types of, like the carryover.
The two-way players, right.
Players. Okay, so now I want to move on, and I want to talk about compare them 2 years. I want to go 2021 versus 2023 and see the teams that have made the biggest leap there. In the 11-man ranks, Axtell, look at that number. In 2021, they're giving up 45 points a game, right? They're giving up 45 points a game was Axtell. They gave up 9.2 last year. Like 35-point improvement. 36, basically, point improvement. Waco University, which for a long time was one of the programs that struggled the most in Texas high school football. They have turned their fortunes around, and it's because of their defense. They've gone from basically a defense that can't stop a cold to one of the better defenses in Texas high school football. Odessa Compass made a big leap. That's a program that's still in its infancy, but they made a huge leap. Ira Ann went from a program that couldn't stop anything to a pretty darn good one. Tom Bean shaved off 32 points a game. New Diana out there in East Texas did fantastic stuff. Frost, Groveton, Austin Crockett kind of round out the top 10. Sunray, I want to focus on them for a moment. We pay a lot of attention to Sunray because of what they do on the offensive side. Because of Armando Luan.
Yes.
But do not overlook the strides they have made defensively. They were one of the most improved defenses in Texas high school football over the last 2 years.
That's insane.
To shave off almost 30 points per game and to add on to it what you're doing on the offensive side, it's wildly, wildly impressive.
I was going to say, offensively speaking about Sunray, were they one of the most improved offenses?
I don't know. I would need to... Actually, that's knowable. Let me see.
Because I feel like that's totally possible for them, too, with Armando Luan.
Listening to live coverage of me sorting my my thing a different way. Sunray, I mean, they were up there.
Yeah,
I believe that they improved from 2023 to 2020, from 2021 to 2023. They added... the 19.6 points per game.
Okay, yeah.
Offensively. So
nice.
You want to talk about adding 20 points per game on the scoreboard and also removing 30 points on the other side?
That's impressive.
You can see, like,
right.
You're talking about a 50-point delta. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a 50-point change per game, which is wildly impressive. Okay, and then on the six-man ranks, I want to take a look at which teams made the biggest improvements on the defensive side on the six-man ranks. We go to Whiteface again. Again, they went from a defense that was not very good. They made a really good, they made a small improvement in 2022 and then a huge leap in 2023. Medina took off 31 points a game. Miami, again, that kind of elite defense going from, again, not very, average, I would say, to elite. Zephyr was fantastic. Knox City made a big leap as well. Southland, Copperell, that's the second time we've talked about them. I've tweeted about them. One of the more underrated stories in Texas high school football is how Copperell went from, legit cellar dweller, in the conversation as one of the worst programs in Texas high school football, to a rock-solid playoff program. And you want to talk about a trajectory pointing up in a big way. Copperell's got it. Marfa, Robert Lee, and Milford all took off about 21 points per game off of their points allowed per game average. So those are the teams that really made the leaps on the defensive side in the six-man ranks. So that kind of rounds out what we were talking about with kind of crunching the numbers for the most points per game, points allowed per game. What I want to take a look at is, because we hear all the time that defense wins championships, right? But as I was going through this, you look at those teams that, for example, we were talking about the most improved defenses on the 11-man side. It's a lot of teams that I don't feel like were necessarily world beaters last year, right? Kingsville King, pretty good, right? Ponder, decent. Abilene TLC, they were better. Houston Scarborough, Tom Bean. So what I wanted to do was, because on the other side, you take a look at the teams that were the most improved offenses, and they were more brand names. They were teams that we felt like rose to the top. And so this is a lot of data all at once, and you can kind of take a look at it. But these were the top 10 in each of those categories that we've gone over the last 2 weeks, and what their win improvement total was, right? In the six-man ranks, if you were a top 10 offensive improvement team, you added an average of 3.6 wins. If you are a top 10 improved defensive squad, you improve 4 wins. Okay? So it would stand to reason that, if you can improve your defense and be a top 10 improved defense, you will improve faster at a higher rate than you will if you improve your offense.
Right.
That kind of makes sense to me. I think that makes sense. What if I were to tell you it's the reverse on the 11-man side? On the defense side, if you were a top 10 improved defense, you improved by an average of 3.2 wins last year, which is good. Hey, 3 more wins in the win column by having a plus.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Exactly. Offense, though, those teams on the top 10 on the offense, they improved by an average of 4.3 wins. An extra win for those teams on that first column there, teams that improved on the offensive side versus a team that improved on the defensive side. Now, I don't think that there's a direct correlation here. I want to be clear about this. But I found that interesting, that for all we talk about the defense, you got to focus on that. And coaches are always going to preach that, right? It does look like, at least in 2023, in the 11-man ranks, boosting your offense gave you a higher rate of return than boosting your defense.
Right.
Which is a little interesting to me because, we've heard all the time that if they can't score, they can't win, which is true. But I think it kind of goes on the other side, too, of you got to be able to put up some points. And these teams that made that leap offensively had a higher rate of success than the teams that made that leap defensively. I just found that interesting.
That's very interesting.
I'm not saying to not focus on defense. Obviously, defense is important. But those teams that made that big leap offensively, I think you saw that show up in the win column more in 2024. Yeah. 2023, rather. So, anyway, that's a look at Math Tuesday. We taking a look at the most improved defenses in Texas high school football. Next week, I believe I'm going to take a look at who the most successful first-year head coaches were in 2023. We'll take a look at that next week on Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Thank you. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football on the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, our conversation with El Campo offensive coordinator Ryan Martin. But first, a word from these valued goods and services.
feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Back here on Texas Football Today, live from the Bachelorette Pad. I'm Greg. That's Mallory. While we were in Arlington last week at the THSCA...
Agtown, Swagtown.
While we were in Arlington last week at the THSCA Leadership Summit, we caught up with the offensive coordinator for the El Campo Ricebirds, Coach Ryan Martin, who talked to us a little bit about what was going on there at the summit, as well as a look ahead to the Ricebirds 2024 season. Here's our conversation with El Campo's Ryan Martin here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Tepper, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, here in Arlington at the THSCA Leadership Summit. Here with Ryan Martin of the El Campo Ricebirds. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How are things in El Campo?
Everything's good. You know, it's good off season so far, and everything after realignment was good for us, and so we're just rocking along right now.
And your off season includes a trip up here to Arlington to the Leadership Summit here put on by the THSCA. I mean, it's maybe a dumb question, but why this event? What about this event brought you here?
Well, so this is probably my 5th or 6th year to actually be at this event, and you know, it pulls you back every single year to come up here and listen to these incredible speakers kind of tell their story and tell how they do different things in within their programs is always a lot of fun and kind of rejuvenates you throughout this time of year. We were just talking about how, you know, the off season can get a little long, and then coming up here and listening to people, it really gets you fired up and ready to go back and attack whatever it is that you're doing within your program.
One of the things I think is particularly remarkable about this event is you look out in that room and it ain't just football coaches. Mm-hmm. It is wrestling coaches and volleyball coaches and basketball coaches and track coaches. And so from your perspective as a football coach, how do you use that to your advantage to grab things from other sports?
Well, you know, whoever it is that's speaking, as long as you take away one thing from somebody, it was well worth your trip. And so everyone is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to build a positive culture. They're trying to get their team to be more of a family, to be more of a community, and they want to build leaders within their program. So no matter if it's football, wrestling, track, golf, whatever it is, everyone's trying to accomplish the same goal. And so we want to make sure that we're taking away something from everybody. So it's been awesome at per usual.
This is an event where you get a variety of different speakers up there. Have there been one or two speakers that have really stuck out to you?
Well, Stephen Mackey is always is a great one to listen to, and my head coach Travis Reeves spoke. He was phenomenal, and listening to Deb Harris at McKinney High, I had the pleasure of working with her for 3 years when I was at McKinney. She's a stud. She did a phenomenal job up there. And it's always great to be able to listen to people that you work under and kind of help mold you as a coach. It's always really cool to get up there and listen to them speak to the masses and to do such a great job.
You mentioned your head coach was up there, Travis Reed. Do you want to give a quick review on things, maybe out of 5 stars?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm going to give him a 5-star review for sure. Otherwise, I won't be coming back next year.
That's a pretty smart move.
Absolutely.
Finally, I do have to ask you about some ties you have to the THSCA, the bloodlines. Your dad, Joe Martin, involved with the THSCA. So, is it safe to say that this was a family event as well as a family gathering?
Yeah, absolutely. Coaching school. All the clinics throughout the year, and the leadership summit is always kind of a family reunion. So it's always good to come up and be able to spend some time with family as well.
And I got to take the opportunity to ask about the Rice Birds heading into 2024. You guys were relatively young last year. Got a good core coming back. It's early. It's only February, but kind of looking at what you guys haven't come back for 2024. What has you most excited?
Well, right now I think the biggest thing is our group is really starting to gel together. This past group that we were with. We were the seniors class. We were their third coaching staff to be a part of, which is really difficult from a player standpoint. And so to have these guys kind of start to figure us out, more so this spring has been huge, and we're still really building a strong bond as a team. And so to get those guys, you kind of mentioned we were young last year, to get those young guys that have a lot of experience to really step up into some leadership roles and really start to grow and build the program from within it's been an exciting spring so far.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he is, Ryan Martin, the offensive coordinator for the Campo Rice Birds, talked to us at the THSCA Leadership Summit there in Arlington.
Agtown, Swagtown.
And great conversation with him. Excited to see what the Rice Birds do in 2024. We appreciate his time. Let's go over to Mallory Hartley for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts. Mallory?
I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Why is that?
Because we have a crossover of 2 live shows here at the Bachelorette Pad. We'll have TFT at noon with you and Pickle and hopefully Greg Powers.
Hopefully Pickle.
Yeah, it might be me.
She comes back.
It might be me again.
We're going to turn to contract negotiations as soon as the show's over.
Correct. And then at 2 p.m. tomorrow, we're doing ROF Live.
Oh, my gosh. Here?
Ish won't join us. He will not be able to join us because he is still in San Antonio because boys basketball state tournament is this weekend. So it'll just be me and Braylon, me and Carter Yates. So very excited. That'll
be fun.
All of us in the house together.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna make some lunch. It'll be fun.
We're gonna do like a potluck.
We're gonna do Blackstone Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We're gonna cook something on the Blackstone.
Okay.
You guys are in for a treat.
Okay, I'm excited.
We do this right at the Bachelorette Pad.
I'm excited.
Good.
Excited.
You should be.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to El Campo's Ryan Martin for being our guest. For Mallory Hartley, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.